The call came on a Tuesday morning while I was reviewing quarterly reports at my desk. Unknown number. I almost let it go to voicemail. Almost. That 30-second decision changed everything. Hello, is this Isabella Henry? This is Edison from Capital Collections Agency. My stomach dropped. I'm Bella. Nobody calls me Isabella except when something's wrong. Yes, this is she. Ms. Henry, I'm calling about several outstanding loan payments. You're currently 3 months behind on a total of $42,000 across multiple accounts. The fluorescent office lights suddenly felt too bright. There must be some mistake. I don't have any loans. According to our records, you have 3 active loans, 2 personal loans and an auto loan, all opened within the last 6 months. My hands started shaking. I'm a financial assistant. I know better than to ghost loan payments. I know better than to take out loans I can't afford. Can you give me more details about these loans? Edison rattled off account numbers, dates, and amounts. I scribbled everything down on a sticky note, my handwriting getting messier with each detail. The largest loan was dated 3 weeks after Lexi, my younger sister, mysteriously showed up with a brand new Mercedes. I need to investigate this, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Someone must have stolen my identity. I understand, but these loans are in collections now. Your credit score has already taken a significant hit. After hanging up, I sat there staring at my computer screen, not really seeing it. My perfect credit score, the one thing I'd worked so hard to build, was in shambles, and I had a sickening feeling I knew exactly who was responsible. That evening, I confronted my mother and sister in our shared kitchen. Mom was stirring something on the stove while Lexi lounged at the counter, scrolling through her phone. Did either of you take out loans in my name? I asked directly. Mom didn't even turn around. What are you talking about, Bella? Don't be ridiculous. I got a call from collections today. Apparently, I have $42,000 in unpaid loans. Lexi finally looked up from her phone. Maybe you should be more careful with your spending. My spending? I laughed, but there was no humor in it. That's funny, considering one of the loans coincides perfectly with when you got your new car. Are you accusing your sister? Mom whirled around, wooden spoon pointed at me like a weapon. After everything we've done for you, you live here rent-free. I pay the utilities, buy groceries, and clean this entire house, and I never agreed to any loans. You're being paranoid, Lexi said, rolling her eyes. Just because you're jealous of my car. Show me the paperwork for your Mercedes, I demanded. I don't have to show you anything. Lexi stormed out, but not before I caught the flash of panic in her eyes. Mom stepped closer, her voice dropping to that manipulative whisper I knew too well. Bella, honey, you're stressed from work. You're not thinking clearly. Why don't you go lie down? I wanted to scream. This was classic Mom, twisting everything, making me doubt myself. But not this time. The collection agent's words were still ringing in my ears. That night, I waited until everyone was asleep. My hands trembled as I picked the lock on Lexi's door, a skill I'd learned after years of her borrowing my things. The moonlight streaming through her window illuminated the mess of her room. Designer clothes scattered everywhere, shopping bags stuffed in corners, and that familiar smell of her expensive perfume. I started with her desk drawers, then moved to the closet. Nothing. I was about to give up when I spotted a folder tucked between her mattress and box spring. Inside were loan documents, dozens of them. My name was everywhere, but the signatures were wrong. Close, but not quite right. My vision blurred as I stared at the forged documents. My own mother and sister had stolen my identity, destroyed my credit, and were now gaslighting me about it. The betrayal felt like a physical wound in my chest. I heard footsteps in the hallway and quickly shoved the folder back where I'd found it, slipping out of the room just as Mom's door opened. Back in my bed, heart pounding, I made a decision. They thought they could manipulate me, use me, and get away with it because I was the responsible one, the peacekeeper. They were about to learn how wrong they were. I grabbed my phone and texted my best friend Juliet. Remember when you said I should start recording Mom's manipulative conversations? I'm ready. This ends now. The response came immediately. Finally. What do you need? I smiled in the darkness. The war had begun. The next morning, I started my recording campaign. My phone became my constant companion, voice memo app ready. Mom was in rare form at breakfast, performing her favorite routine. Martyrdom with a side of guilt. "I just don't understand why you're being so difficult," she sighed, stirring her coffee dramatically. "After everything I've sacrificed for this family." "You mean like taking out loans in my name?" I kept my voice steady, phone recording in my pocket. "There you go again with these accusations. I raised you better than this." She turned to Lexi, who was buttering toast. "Your sister's becoming quite paranoid, isn't she?" Lexi nodded, mouth full of bread. "Maybe she needs therapy." "I need therapy?" I laughed. "That's rich coming from someone driving a car they can't afford." "Stop attacking your sister." Mom slammed her hand on the table. "She deserves nice things, just because you choose to live like a pauper." "I live within my means," I interrupted. "Something you two should try." The conversation devolved from there, but I had it all recorded. Later that day, Juliet came over to help me gather more evidence. "Your room first," she whispered, glancing around. "They might have hidden stuff in here too." We searched methodically, finding nothing until Juliet checked inside my old yearbooks. There, stuffed between pages, were credit card offers addressed to me, all opened, all with approval stamps. "They've been intercepting your mail," Juliet said, face grim. "This is serious identity theft, Bella." Before I could respond, voices drifted up from downstairs. We crept to the stairwell, my phone recording. "She's getting suspicious," Lexi was saying. "What if she goes to the police?" "She won't," Mom replied. "And if she does, we'll say she authorized everything. It's her word against ours. Who do you think they'll believe? Two respectable women or someone with destroyed credit who's clearly unstable?" My hands clenched into fists. Juliet grabbed my arm, steadying me. "Besides," Mom continued, "I've already talked to Aunt Sarah and Uncle Pete. They're concerned about Bella's mental state. If she pushes this, we have family backing us up." I felt sick. They were already building their defense, turning family against me. That evening, my uncle called. "Bella, honey, your mom's worried about you," he started. "Did she tell you about the loans, Uncle Pete?" "She mentioned you're having some financial troubles. There's no shame in admitting you need help." "I don't need help," I snapped. "I need people to stop stealing my identity." "Now, Bella," his voice took on that patronizing tone adults use with difficult children, "your mother would never save it." I hung up. The next day, Lexi's friend Kira stopped by. I was in the kitchen when they walked past, discussing the Mercedes. "I still can't believe you got it," Kira gushed. "How did you afford it?" "Oh, Mom handled everything," Lexi said airily. "She's amazing with financial stuff." They disappeared upstairs, but their voices carried through the vent. "But seriously," Kira pressed, "that car payment must be insane." "Don't worry about it. We used Bella's credit. She owes us anyway. Mom's been supporting her forever." "Wait, what? Isn't that illegal?" "Only if you get caught. Besides, Bella's so pathetic she'll probably just take the blame to keep the peace. She always does." I hit stop on the recording, hands shaking with rage. My phone buzzed. Another collection agency. They were calling daily now, threatening legal action. My credit score had plummeted to the low 500s. That night, I lay in bed reviewing the evidence on my laptop. Recorded conversations, photographs of documents, intercepted mail, text messages. A complete record of their betrayal. My phone lit up with a text from Mom. "Family meeting tomorrow. We need to discuss your attitude." Another text followed. "Remember everything I've done for you. Don't throw it all away over silly suspicions." I showed the text to Juliet over video chat. "They're getting nervous," she said. "You have enough evidence. Time to go nuclear." "I'm scared," I admitted. "What if no one believes me?" "That's why we documented everything. They can't gaslight their way out of recorded conversations." My phone buzzed again. "Mom, don't forget who's always been there for you, who's always protected you." I laughed bitterly. Protected me? They're destroying my life. Then destroy them back, Juliet said firmly. Show them what happens when they mess with the responsible one. I nodded, downloading all the evidence to a secure cloud drive. Tomorrow's family meeting would go very differently than they expected. They thought they had me cornered, but I had something they didn't, the truth, and I was finally ready to use it. The family meeting started like all our confrontations, in the living room, with Mom perched in her favorite armchair like a queen on her throne. Lexi sprawled on the couch, examining her manicure. My phone was recording in my pocket, backup recorder hidden in my jacket. Bella, Mom began, using her concerned voice. We're worried about you. This obsession with loans and identity theft, it's not healthy. Let's talk about what's really unhealthy, I said, pulling out the folder of evidence. Like forging my signature on loan documents. Lexi sat up straight. Where did you get those? Does it matter? They're proof that you and Mom committed fraud. Mom's face hardened. How dare you go through your sister's things? This is exactly the unstable behavior we're talking about. Unstable? I laughed. Let's review the facts. 3 loans in my name. A Mercedes I never approved. $42,000 of debt I never agreed to. And the best part? I pulled out my phone. I have you both on recording plotting to frame me. The color drained from Mom's face. You recorded us? Your own family? Family doesn't steal from family, I shouted, surprising even myself with the volume. Family doesn't destroy someone's credit and then gaslight them about it. After everything I've sacrificed, Mom started. Stop! I hit play on my phone. Her own voice filled the room. If she pushes this, we'll say she authorized everything. It's her word against ours. Lexi jumped up. Turn that off. Why? Scared to hear yourself plotting to frame me? Or should we play the part where you tell Kira how pathetic I am? You're twisting everything. Mom stood, pointing her finger at me. I put a roof over your head. I raised you alone after your father abandoned us. Dad left because of you, because you're manipulative and toxic. How dare you? The doorbell rang, cutting through our screaming match. Mom went to answer it, probably expecting reinforcements in the form of Aunt Sarah or Uncle Pete. Instead, a man in a suit stood there. Ms. Henry, I'm Edmund Butler from First National Bank's Fraud Department. We need to discuss some concerning loan applications. Mom tried to shut the door, but I was faster. Please come in, Mr. Butler. I have evidence you need to see. This is private family business, Mom hissed. Not anymore, I said. Not when you committed bank fraud. Edmund settled into the armchair Mom had vacated, reviewing the documents I'd gathered. Lexi started crying, her go-to manipulation tactic. Bella, please, she sobbed. You're ruining my life. They'll take my car. You ruined my life first. My credit is destroyed. I might lose my job, all because you wanted a luxury car you couldn't afford. Your sister needed reliable transportation, Mom interjected. A Mercedes? Edmund raised an eyebrow. There are more affordable options. Stay out of this, Mom snapped. This is between me and my daughters. Actually, Edmund closed his folder. This is between you and the bank. These documents show clear evidence of forgery and identity theft. Mom's tactics shifted instantly. Her voice became soft, pleading. Bella, sweetie, we can work this out privately. Don't do something you'll regret. The only thing I regret is not stopping you sooner. My phone rang. Another unknown number. Edmund glanced at it. That's probably our legal department. They're reviewing your case. Mom lunged for my phone. I stepped back, watching her composure crack completely. You ungrateful little, she sputtered. After everything I've done, I'll throw you out. I'll tell everyone what an unstable liar you are. Go ahead, I said calmly, hitting stop on the recording. Add witness intimidation to the fraud charges. Lexi had progressed to full-blown hysterics. Mom, do something. Mrs. Henry, Edmund stood. I suggest you both retain lawyers. The bank takes identity theft very seriously. Get out of my house, Mom screamed. All of you. Gladly. I headed upstairs to grab my pre-packed bags. I'd known this confrontation would end with me leaving. If you walk out that door, Mom called after me, don't ever come back. I paused on the stairs, looking down at them. Mom, red-faced and shaking. Lexi, mascara streaking her cheeks. Edmund, calmly collecting his evidence. Don't worry, I said. I won't. Outside, the afternoon sun felt too bright for such a dark moment. Edmund handed me his card. The bank will be in touch. You did the right thing. As his car pulled away, my phone buzzed with a text from Mom. You've destroyed this family. I hope you're happy. I blocked her number, then Lexi's for good measure. My hands were shaking, but my mind was clear. For the first time in years, I could breathe. The war wasn't over, but I'd won this battle, and I was just getting started. I was staying at Juliet's apartment when my boss called. My stomach dropped as soon as I saw her name on the screen. Bella, we need to talk about your background check, Susan said without preamble. Your credit report is raising serious concerns. I can explain, I started, but she cut me off. You work in financial services. You know how this looks. We're putting you on administrative leave until this is resolved. After hanging up, I slumped onto Juliet's couch. I just lost my job. Administrative leave isn't firing, she reminded me. Once the fraud investigation clears your name. A knock at the door interrupted her. Through the peephole, I saw Kira, Lexi's friend, shifting nervously in the hallway. What are you doing here? I asked, opening the door cautiously. I needed to tell you something. She glanced around. Can I come in? Once inside, Kira pulled out her phone. Your mom. She's not stopping. I recorded this yesterday. She played a video. Mom and Lexi in their kitchen, surrounded by papers. Mom was coaching Lexi on copying my signature. Perfect, Mom was saying. The loan officer won't question it. We just need to get this done before Bella's evidence reaches the right people. They're still forging documents? Juliet asked, incredulous. Kira nodded. They're desperate. Your mom's trying to take out more loans before everything freezes. She said something about leaving the country. My phone buzzed. Edmund Butler requesting an urgent meeting. An hour later, I sat in his office, watching him review Kira's video. This is exactly what we needed, he said. But there's more. Someone tried to open 3 new credit cards in your name this morning. Can you stop them? We've flagged your social security number, but... His phone interrupted him. After a brief conversation, he looked at me gravely. That was the police. Your mother just tried to empty her accounts. When they froze her access, she had a very public meltdown at the bank. My phone lit up with texts from unknown numbers. Flying monkeys Mom had sent to harass me. How could you do this to your family? Your poor mother is having a breakdown. You ungrateful child. I was blocking numbers when a familiar name appeared. Dad. Bella? I just heard what's happening. Are you okay? I hadn't spoken to my father in years. Mom had always claimed he abandoned us, but now I wondered what really happened. Not really, I admitted. Did you know what they were capable of? It's why I left, he said quietly. Your mother's financial manipulation. I couldn't stop her. She drained our accounts, maxed out credit cards. When I threatened to expose her, she turned you girls against me. A memory surfaced. Mom crying, telling us Dad had stolen her money, abandoned us. I'd believed her. We all had. I should have fought harder for custody, he continued. I'm so sorry, Bella. Before I could respond, Edmund's phone rang again. His expression darkened as he listened. Your sister's friend Kira just called the fraud hotline, he told me. Your mother is at your old house right now, destroying documents. We need to stop her, I said, standing. The police are on their way, but there's something else. He hesitated. They found loan applications in your father's name, too. My phone buzzed with a text from Kira. They're burning everything in the backyard. Hurry! I forwarded it to Edmund, who immediately called the police again. Dad was still on the line. "They're trying to use your identity too," I told him. "Not trying. They already did." His voice was grim. "I just checked my credit report. There are 5 new loans in my name." Edmund was already moving. "We need to get to your house now. The police will meet us there." As we drove, my phone exploded with notifications. Flying monkeys sharing Mom's Facebook post about her mentally unstable daughter trying to destroy the family. Lexi's tearful Instagram story about betrayal. Kira's updates about the document bonfire. "They're trying to control the narrative," Edmund observed. "They've always controlled the narrative," I said. "But not anymore." We turned onto my old street just as police cars surrounded the house. Through the gathering crowd of neighbors, I could see smoke rising from the backyard. Mom was screaming at officers while Lexi filmed everything on her phone, probably for more social media sympathy. "Ready?" Edmund asked as we parked. I watched another officer lead Mom away from the smoldering evidence fire, her mascara running as she wailed about ungrateful children. "Ready," I said, stepping out of the car. "Time to end this." The police had Mom handcuffed on the front lawn while firefighters extinguished the backyard blaze. Lexi was still filming, her hands shaking as she narrated. "Look what she's doing to our family. My own sister." "Put the phone down," an officer ordered. "You're interfering with an investigation." I approached with Edmund and pulled out my own phone. "Actually, keep recording, Lexi. Let's make sure everyone sees the truth." "You want truth?" Mom shouted from beside the patrol car. "Tell them how you abandoned your family. Tell them how you betrayed us." "Betrayed you?" I hit play on my recordings. Her voice, crystal clear, filled the yard. "We'll say she authorized everything. It's her word against ours." Lexi's face went pale. "Turn that off!" "No." I raised my voice to address the growing crowd of neighbors. "Everyone should hear how my mother and sister stole my identity, took out fraudulent loans, and then tried to frame me for it." "She's lying!" Mom shrieked. "I'm her mother. I would never." "Mrs. Henry," Edmund stepped forward, badge visible. "We have documented evidence of multiple fraudulent loans, forged signatures, and now destruction of evidence." A familiar car pulled up. Dad. He stepped out, looking older than I remembered. "Gerald!" Mom's voice switched to sugary sweet. "Thank God you're here. Tell them this is all a misunderstanding." Dad walked past her without a glance. "The only misunderstanding was me not pressing charges 15 years ago when you did the same thing to me." Lexi's phone clattered to the ground. "Daddy?" "It's true, Lexi," he said softly. "Your mother has a history of this, and now she's done it to both of us. There are new loans in my name, too." "That's ridiculous." Mom tried to stand, but the officer held her down. "Gerald abandoned us. He—" "Show them the Mercedes paperwork," I interrupted. "Show them how you forged my signature so Lexi could have a luxury car." "You're just jealous," Lexi snapped, but her voice wavered. Kira stepped forward from the crowd. "I have proof too." She held up her phone. Videos of them practicing Bella's signature. Text messages about the fraud. Mom's face contorted. "You little snitch. After everything we shared." "Enough." The officer helped Mom to her feet. "We're taking you in for questioning. We'll need statements from everyone." As they led Mom toward the patrol car, she started sobbing. "Bella, please. I'm your mother. Don't let them do this." "You did this to yourself," I said. "Every time you forged my name. Every time you lied. Every time you manipulated everyone around you." "I hate you," she screamed, mask completely shattered. "You ungrateful, worthless." The officer shut the car door, cutting off her tirade. Lexi stood frozen, mascara streaming down her face. "What's going to happen to me?" she whispered. Edmund answered, "That depends on your cooperation. We'll need full disclosure about your involvement." "I didn't." She looked around desperately. "Mom said it was okay. She said Bella owed us." Owed you? Dad's voice was sharp. For what? The years she spent supporting you both while your mother spent money you didn't have? Lexi crumpled to the ground, sobbing. Kira moved to comfort her, then stopped herself. I'm sorry, Kira said to me instead. I should have spoken up sooner. The next few hours were a blur of statements and evidence collection. The partially burned documents were cataloged. Dad's new fraudulent loans were added to the investigation. Neighbors slowly dispersed, phones undoubtedly spreading the story across social media. As the sun set, I stood in my old bedroom, packing the last of my belongings. Dad appeared in the doorway. You can stay with me while this gets sorted out, he offered. Thanks, but I'm going to Juliet's. I zipped my bag. I need space from everything. He nodded. I understand. But Bella? I turned to face him. I'm proud of you. Standing up to them. It took courage I didn't have back then. Downstairs, Lexi was being questioned by detectives. Through the window, I could see Mom in the patrol car, still crying dramatically for anyone watching. My phone buzzed. A text from Edmund. Banks freezing all suspicious accounts. Criminal charges pending. You did the right thing. Another message followed from an unknown number. This is Aunt Sarah. How could you send your own mother to jail? You'll regret this. I blocked her number and turned to Dad. Did the flying monkeys attack you too back then? They still do. He smiled sadly. But the truth matters more than their opinions. Looking around the house one last time, I felt lighter, despite everything. The truth was finally out, and no amount of manipulation could change that. Mom's last words echoed in my head. You'll regret this. But standing in the wreckage of her lies, I knew I wouldn't. Not this time. The next week unfolded like a slow-motion train wreck. Mom's arrest made the local news, and her Facebook army went into overdrive. I sat at Juliet's kitchen table, scrolling through the chaos. Look at this, I showed her my phone. Mom's sister posted a GoFundMe for legal expenses to fight false accusations from an ungrateful daughter. How much have they raised? Nothing. I smiled grimly. The bank reported it as fraud. My phone rang. Edmund. We finished analyzing the recovered documents. Your mother and sister had plans to open 6 more credit cards in your name. They were also targeting your father's identity again. How's Lexi handling everything? Not well. She's been served with official charges. The university is reviewing her enrollment given the fraud allegations. A text notification popped up from Kira. Lexi just got kicked out of her sorority. She's having a meltdown in the student center. Another message followed. She's telling everyone you framed her and your mom. I switched to speaker as more texts rolled in. Screenshots of Lexi's latest social media rant about her psychotic sister and conspiracy against her family. Your sister's posts could be considered witness intimidation, Edmund said. We should add them to the file. Already downloading everything, Juliet said, typing furiously on her laptop. My work phone buzzed. Susan again. Bella? The fraud investigator sent his preliminary report. Your position is secure once this is resolved. Thank you, I breathed. I was worried. Don't be. Just keep us updated on the legal proceedings. After hanging up, I checked my email. The credit monitoring service showed Mom had tried accessing my frozen accounts 3 more times from the jail's computer system. She's not stopping, I told Juliet. Even behind bars, she's still trying to control everything. Speaking of control, Juliet pointed to her TV, where the local news was running a story about the case. Mom's tearful jailhouse interview played. My daughter has always been troubled, jealous of her sister's success. These accusations are destroying our family. The scene cut to Lexi outside the courthouse. My sister's making up lies because she couldn't handle that Mom and I are closer. She's trying to ruin my life. Turn it off, I said, but then Dad appeared on screen. My ex-wife did the same thing to me years ago, he told the reporter. She isolated our daughters, drained accounts, forged documents. I regret not pressing charges then. Maybe if I had, Bella wouldn't be going through this now. The reporter turned to the camera. Sources say Andrea Henry faces up to 15 years if convicted on all charges. Her daughter Alexis faces potential felony charges as well. My phone exploded with notifications, flying monkeys sharing Mom's interview, calling me horrible names, demanding I drop the charges. Then a different kind of message appeared, from my old high school friend Maria. I believe you. My mom did something similar. Stay strong. More supportive messages followed, people sharing their own stories of family financial abuse. Each one felt like a small victory. Edmund called again. Your mother's lawyer reached out. They're offering a deal. If you drop charges, they'll repay the loans. No, I said immediately. They need to face consequences. I agree. Oh, and Bella? We found something else in the burned documents. Your mother had a hidden account in the Cayman Islands. She was planning to flee there with your sister. I sat down hard. What? The FBI is involved now. International banking fraud changes everything. Juliet's doorbell rang. Through the peephole, we saw Lexi. Don't open it, Juliet warned, but I already was. Lexi looked terrible, mascara streaked, designer clothes wrinkled. They took my car, she sobbed. The bank repossessed it this morning. My friends won't talk to me. The sorority kicked me out. Everything's ruined. You ruined it yourself, I said quietly. Every time you chose to help Mom steal my identity. She said it was okay. She said you owed us. Please, Bella, you have to drop the charges. I can't go to jail. Should have thought about that before committing fraud. I hate you, she screamed, mask cracking just like Mom's had. You're destroying our family. Mom was right. You're nothing but a jealous, pathetic... Juliet slammed the door in her face. Through it, we could hear Lexi's threats and sobs. I'm recording everything, Juliet said, phone held up. More evidence for Edmund. I nodded, watching through the window as Lexi finally left, shoulders shaking with either rage or tears, probably both. My phone buzzed with a final text from Mom. You'll never survive what's coming. I raised you. I know all your weaknesses. I showed it to Juliet, who smiled grimly. She still thinks she has power over you. She doesn't, I said, blocking the number. Not anymore. The courthouse hallway felt too bright, too sterile. I sat on a hard wooden bench, waiting for Mom's arraignment to begin. Dad paced nearby while Juliet gripped my hand. They're bringing her in now, Edmund said, appearing from around the corner. Mom shuffled in wearing an orange jumpsuit, hands cuffed. Her carefully maintained image had crumbled. No makeup, no designer clothes, no mask of control. She spotted me and her face twisted. Happy now? She spat. Seeing your mother in chains? Before I could respond, her lawyer shushed her. Lexi arrived moments later with her own attorney, pointedly sitting on the opposite side of the hallway. The bailiff called us into the courtroom. As we filed in, I heard Mom's lawyer whisper urgently to her. Remember what we discussed. No outbursts. Fat chance of that. The judge barely finished reading the charges before Mom exploded. This is ridiculous. I was helping my daughters. That's what mothers do. Mrs. Henry, the judge warned, control yourself or... She's the one who should be on trial, Mom pointed at me. Ungrateful, spiteful. Remove the defendant, the judge ordered. As guards led Mom away, she started screaming. I still have proof. I have evidence that will destroy all of you. The judge turned to Lexi. And you, Miss Henry? Anything to add? Lexi stood, trembling. I want to change my plea. Her lawyer looked startled. We haven't discussed... I'm guilty, Lexi blurted. Mom made it seem normal, but I knew it was wrong. I helped forge signatures. I knew about the loans. The courtroom erupted. Through the chaos, I watched my sister crumple into her seat, finally breaking under the weight of truth. During the recess, Edmund pulled me aside. We found what your mother was referring to. She had more loan applications ready, dozens of them, but not just in your name. He handed me a folder. Inside were loan documents with Dad's signature, Uncle Pete's, even Aunt Sarah's, all forged, all ready to go. She was planning to burn everyone, I said. The FBI found emails. She was going to max out every family member's credit, take the money, and disappear overseas. You exposing her stopped a much bigger scheme. The bailiff called us back in. Mom had been allowed to return, now eerily calm. The judge reviewed the new evidence. Given the scope of these crimes and the defendant's lack of remorse, he began, bail is denied. Trial is set for— Wait, Mom stood. I need to say something to my daughter. The judge sighed. Make it brief. Mom turned to me, eyes cold. I gave you everything. I made you who you are. And this is how you repay me? By destroying our family? You destroyed our family, I replied. Every time you chose fraud over honesty. Every time you manipulated instead of loved. Love? She laughed bitterly. Love is sacrifice. Love is doing whatever it takes to give your children better lives. Better lives built on stolen identities and lies? You ungrateful little— She lunged forward, but guards caught her. Remove her, the judge ordered. Now. As they dragged Mom away, she kept screaming. You think this is over? I raised you. I know how to break you. Lexi stood suddenly. Mom, stop. Just stop. Mom froze, staring at her favorite daughter in disbelief. You ruined everything, Lexi continued, voice shaking. My life, Bella's life, Daddy's life. I can't keep pretending this is okay. The guards resumed removing Mom, her screams echoing down the hallway. Lexi turned to me. I'm sorry, she whispered. I know it's not enough, but I'm so sorry. I nodded, unable to speak. Dad put his arm around me as we left the courthouse. Outside, reporters swarmed. How does it feel to send your mother to jail? Any comment on your sister's confession? What about the international banking fraud? Edmund stepped in. No comments. This is an ongoing investigation. Back at Juliet's apartment, I finally checked my phone. The flying monkeys had gone silent, probably scrambling to delete their supporting posts now that Mom's bigger scheme was exposed. A text from Kira. Lexi's telling the truth to investigators. Everything. Then one from Dad. You did what I couldn't. You stood up to her. I'm so proud of you. My hands shook as I set the phone down. Mom's last threat echoed in my head. I know how to break you. She's wrong, Juliet said, reading my expression. She doesn't know you at all. The real you. The strong you. I nodded, watching the sun set through the window. Tomorrow would bring more battles, more revelations, more healing. But for now, in this moment, I was finally free, and that was worth everything. The verdict came down like a thunderclap. 15 years for Mom, 3 years probation for Lexi. I sat in the courtroom, watching Mom's face as her carefully constructed world finally shattered. Before sentencing, the judge said, would the defendant like to make a statement? Mom stood, shoulders straight. Everything I did was for my family. No, I interrupted, standing too. Everything you did was for control. The judge allowed me to continue. Mom's lawyer objected, but was overruled. You didn't just steal our identities, I said, voice steady. You stole our trust, our relationships, our sense of family. You taught us that love means manipulation, that family means fraud, that loyalty means lying. Mom's mask cracked. How dare you? But you taught me something else too, I continued. You taught me exactly what kind of person I don't want to be. The bailiff led her away. She didn't scream this time, didn't threaten, just walked out, small and defeated, leaving behind the wreckage of her schemes. Outside the courthouse, Lexi approached me. The investigators found more evidence in Mom's email. She was planning to frame me too, eventually. Once I outlived my usefulness. Are you surprised? No. She wiped her eyes. I'm starting therapy next week. Real therapy, not just the court-mandated sessions. I need to understand why I let her control me for so long. Dad joined us, looking lighter than I'd seen him in years. The bank's clearing my credit. Yours too, Bella. They're removing all the fraudulent accounts. What about the Mercedes? I asked Lexi. Repossessed. She laughed hollowly. I'm taking the bus now. Got a job at a coffee shop to start paying restitution. Edmund appeared with more news. The FBI found the Cayman Islands account. They're freezing all assets. You'll both be entitled to restitution from those funds. I don't want her money, I said. Me neither, Lexi agreed. Donate it to fraud victim support or something. My phone buzzed. A text from Juliet. Your apartment's ready. Just finished moving the last box. I'd finally found my own place, away from the memories, away from the manipulation. As I turned to leave, Aunt Sarah approached. Bella, wait. She looked uncomfortable. I was wrong. About everything. We all were. The things your mother told us about you, about Gerald. We should have questioned it. Yes, you should have. I found loan applications in my name in her files. She was going to... Aunt Sarah trailed off. Destroy you too? I finished. That's what she does. Did. Not anymore. Back at my new apartment, Juliet had arranged a small gathering. Dad was there, and surprisingly, so was Lexi. Kira too. Even Edmund stopped by. To freedom, Juliet toasted, raising her glass. And to truth. My phone lit up with a message from the prison. Mom's first allowed communication. My hands shook as I opened it. You think you've won? You think this is over? I'm still your mother. I'll always be your mother. You can't escape that. Lexi read it over my shoulder. She still doesn't get it, does she? We're not trying to escape her. We're escaping what she turned us into. I deleted the message without responding. Through my new apartment windows, I could see the city stretching out, full of possibilities. My credit was clearing. My job was secure. My life was mine again. Hey, Dad said softly. You okay? Getting there. I smiled. We all are. Kira raised her glass. To Bella, who taught me that standing up to family sometimes means saving them from themselves. To consequences, Edmund added. To fresh starts, Lexi said quietly. I looked around at these people, some family by blood, some by choice, and felt something I hadn't experienced in years. Peace. My phone buzzed again. Another prison message. I'll never stop trying to reach you. You're mine. This time, I handed the phone to Edmund without reading it. Add it to the harassment file. Lexi touched my arm. I really am sorry. For everything. I know. I did know. That's why you're here, and she's there. Outside, the sun was setting on my first day of true freedom. No more looking over my shoulder. No more checking my credit hourly. No more walking on eggshells. Mom was wrong. She hadn't broken me. She'd forced me to become stronger than she ever imagined. I raised my glass to my gathered family. The real one. The chosen one. To truth. To truth, they echoed. And in that moment, surrounded by honest love and genuine support, I knew. This wasn't an ending. It was a beginning.